Hello my dear students, welcome back to your favorite channel NEET World. This is Vasavi Ma'am, your biology educator. Yes, so students, we have done with the chapter Nutrition in Animals of your class 7 CBSE Science, right? So from that particular chapter, today we are going to solve the top most important level 1 type of MCQs, my dear students, okay? So everyone please stay tuned and just note down and take the screenshots wherever if necessary, my dear students. Yes, so these are the top most important just level 1 type of questions. After completing the level 1, again we are going to solve the most difficult level type of questions, my dear students. Yes, okay. So here the first question is, which of the following statements is incorrect? Okay. So here are the given options, okay. Here are the 4 different types of options. So among that you need to choose which one is incorrect, okay. So let's have a look on these particular statements, my dear students. Yes, so saliva lubricates the food and tongue helps in tasting the food, bile breakdowns fats into small droplets, okay. Saliva helps to digest the proteins, okay. So if we are going to look into all the 4 different types of options here, so first 3 options are right, my dear students, because saliva is going to secrete the enzyme called as amylase, okay. So due to the secretion of the saliva, the food gets continuously moistened, okay. So saliva helps in moistening the food, and easily by the secretion of the saliva easily we can swallow the food. And next, tongue helps in tasting the food, isn't it or not? So this all you know. So the tongue is the main thing through which we can taste the food. And next one, bile is going to help in the breakdown of fats into the simple substances, okay. So the breakdown of fats into the fatty acids, or else the breakdown of the fats into the simple substances is going to occur with the help of the bile, okay. So students, look into the last option here, saliva helps to digest the proteins, okay. So this is absolutely wrong, because saliva is going to secrete the enzyme called as amylase, okay. Okay, it is going to secrete the enzyme called as amylase, okay. So the amylase is going to act on the carbohydrates, which is going to convert into the simple sugars like glucose and the starch, okay. So clear, my dear students. So saliva is going to secrete the enzyme called as amylase, which will help in breakdown of the carbohydrates into the simple sugars, okay, but not into the converting into the proteins, okay. So it is not going to help in the breakdown of the proteins, but it is just involved in the breakdown of the complex nutrients like carbohydrates into the simple sugars, okay. So clear with the first question? Yes. So now let's have a look on the second question, my dear students. Which secretion does not contain the digestive enzymes, okay. So here are the given secretions, okay. So which secretion does not contain the digestive enzymes, okay. So among these you need to identify which is not going to secrete any type of enzyme, okay. So option A is bile, option B gastric juice, option C intestinal juice, and option D is pancreatic juice, my dear students, okay. So if you look into the options, the option A, okay. So bile is not going to contain any different types of enzymes, okay. So the bile is not going to secrete any enzymes, but it is going to be helpful, okay. It is involved in the emulsification of the fats, okay. So it is nothing but it is going to break down the fats, okay. It is going to act on the fat droplets, and then next it is going to convert them into the simple substances, okay. And the gastric juice is also going to contain the enzyme called as renin, okay. So it is going to secrete the enzyme called as renin, okay. So which is going to be present, okay, which is secreted in the infants, okay. The main function of the enzyme renin is to coagulate the milk, my dear students, okay. So it is produced in the infants. And next one, if we look into the intestinal juices, okay. So the intestinal juice is also going to secrete many different types of enzymes like trypsin, chymotrypsinogen, everything, okay. And next one, pancreatic juice. Okay, so here the pancreatic juice is going to secrete all different types of enzymes. Okay, so it is going to secrete all different types of enzymes like lipases, okay, amylase, right, okay, lipase, and the next one amylase. Okay, lipase is going to be helpful. Okay, so the main secretion, okay, the enzyme lipase is going to convert fats into fatty acids. Okay, and next one, yes, amylase is going to be helpful in converting the carbohydrates into the simple sugars, my dear students. Okay, and the next one, proteases. Okay, proteases is helpful in converting the proteins into the simple substances called as amino acids. Okay, so these enzymatic actions you all need to be remembered, my dear students. Okay, this is very most important. Lipases is the enzyme which is going to act, okay, which will act on the fats. Okay, so whenever it is going to act on the fats, immediately it is going to convert into the fatty acids. Okay, all the complex nutrients, fats, carbohydrates and proteins are converted into the simple substances, simple molecules like fatty acids, amino acids, and the next one is simple sugars. Okay, so by the help of the different types of enzymes like lipases, amylase, and next one proteases, my dear students. Okay, so this is most important. Just have a look. Already we have discussed in the nutrition in animals. Okay, in that chapter completely I have explained. Just go through that, my dear students. Yes. So next one, which of the following set of organs is involved in digestion? Okay, so here are the all different types of organs. Okay, so you have to look into the each option and you need to match the right pair, my dear students. Okay, so option A. Okay, yes, just a minute. Option A, what it is? Saliva lubricates. Yes, students. Okay, just a minute. The question has been, yes. Yes, look into this particular question. Which of the following set of organs is involved in the digestion of food? Okay, so you need to match the right pair, my dear students. Okay, correct pair of organs which are involved in the digestion. Okay, yes, pancreas, liver and stomach. Okay, so this particular option is right, my dear students. Okay, so pancreas, liver and stomach. Okay, all these organs are involved in the digestion process. Okay, because they are going to secrete different types of enzymes which are involved in converting the complex substances into the simple substances. Just now whatever we have seen, same. Okay, and next one, option B, stomach, esophagus and kidney. Okay, stomach and esophagus are the organs which are the part of digestive system only, but the kidneys are involved. Okay, the kidneys are the organs which are involved in the excretory system. And next one, option C, heart, pancreas and stomach. Pancreas and stomach are the part of digestive system, whereas the heart, okay, whereas the heart is the part, okay, whereas the heart is the organ which is involved in the circulation process. Okay, and next one, option D is liver, pancreas and lungs. Okay, here again the last option, okay, the last organ, lungs. Okay, so these are involved in actually respiration, my dear students. Okay, so here among all these four options, the right pair, okay, so the correct pair of organs are option A, pancreas, liver and stomach, which are involved in what, my dear students? Digestion. Okay, and next one, see here, which of the following statements is incorrect? Okay, yes, saliva lubricates the food, tongue helps in tasting the food, and next one, bile breaks down the fats into small droplets and saliva helps to digest the proteins. Okay, already we have done this first question. Okay, it has been repeated once again, no problem, students. Yes, and next one, have a look here. After digestion, okay, next question it is, after digestion, the digested food is absorbed by the blood. Okay, so the digested food is absorbed by the blood, while the undigested food is stored temporarily in. Okay, so after the digestion, the food, okay, the digested food gets absorbed into the blood and the next it is going to be circulated throughout the body. But where does the undigested food is going to be stored? Okay, so let's have a look here. Option A rectum, option B stomach, option C small intestine, and option D is none of this. Okay. So, have a look here my dear students, option A is rectum. And so, before looking into the options, first try to eliminate the options one by one. Okay. So, stomach and small intestine. Okay. So, stomach and small intestine. So, the stomach is the part, the stomach is the organ where the food is going to be stored before digestion. Okay. So, before digestion the food gets stored temporarily for a while in the stomach, right. But from the stomach the food is going to be passed into the small intestine. In the small intestine the finger like projections called as villi, which is going to increase the surface area for the digestion process. Okay. So, the complete digestion is going to be taken place in the small intestine only. Okay. So, from here the undigested food later it is going to move towards the large intestine, and the next sometimes it is going to be stored in the rectum. Okay. So, here the right option is option A, rectum. Okay. So, the rectum is the area. Okay. So, the rectum is a part where the undigested food is going to be stored my dear students. Okay. So, clear with this particular question? Yes. So, now look into this particular question. The components of the food are complex substances. Okay. So, this is a direct definition my dear students, already I have explained you. So, if you are not going to understand, if you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. Okay. Yes. So, the components of the food are complex substances which cannot be utilized as such. Okay. Once again I am repeating my dear students, the components of food are complex substances which cannot be utilized as such. So, these are broken down into simpler substances. Okay. So, the process of breakdown of complex components of food into simpler substances is called. Okay. Obviously, the answer is going to be digestion only my dear students. Okay. So, the breakdown of the complex food into the simpler substances is only called as digestion. Okay. So, why we are calling it as digestion? Because if you are not going to break the complex substances, then we cannot easily absorb them into our body. Okay. So, to get it into absorbed in our body, we need to break down it. Okay. So, this particular process is only called as digestion. Okay. So, option C will be the right option, but once we need to verify the option A, B and D. Option A is absorption. What is absorption my dear students? After digestion, the digested food molecules which are going to be sent into our bloodstream and which are then going to be absorbed into our body, that process is called as digestion. And next one, ingestion is the process where we are going to intake the food from the mouth, right. And next one, assimilation. Okay. Assimilation is nothing but the process of absorption of the digested food. Okay. So, after the absorption of the nutrients into our body, then next it is going to be completely circulated in our body, and then these nutrients are going to be absorbed in our body. Okay. So, the process of absorption of the digested nutrients is only called as the assimilation. So, among these the answer will be C my dear students, digestion. Okay. So, this is nothing, just it is a direct question. Okay. So, it is just the definition of the digestion only. Okay. Yes. And next one, look into this, which of the following statements is not true. Okay. So, here you need to understand the incorrect statements my dear students. Okay. Yes, have a look on the option. Mode of taking food into the body varies in different organisms. Okay. So, this is absolutely right, because so different types of organisms are going to have different types of feeding organs, right my dear students. Humans have the mouth for to take the food in our body. Okay. So, we are going to use the mouth as a feeding organ, whereas the butterfly and mosquitoes are going to use the proboscis as their feeding organ. So, different types of organisms are going to have different types of feeding organs. Okay. So, this option A is right. Option B, bees and hummingbirds suck the nectar of flowers. Okay. So, this is also the right option, because in bees and hummingbirds we can see the proboscis. Okay. We can see the long neck in the hummingbirds, whereas in the bees we can see the proboscis through which it is going to suck the nectar from the flowers. And next one, hydra catches the food with the help of its tentacles. Okay, what are tentacles, my dear students? So these tentacles we can find in the hydra, right? So the tentacles are the long finger like projections. So the tentacles are going to contain the toxic, okay, so it is going to contain the toxin and it is very poisonous in nature. Whenever it is going to see the prey, okay, so immediately it is going to catch it and immediately it is going to release the poison into the organism, okay, so then immediately it is going to catch, okay. So here hydra is going to contain the tentacles, okay. So the type of feeding organs in hydra are tentacles, okay. So the option C is also the right option, my dear students, okay. Next, option D, lice and mosquitoes chew their food by grinding with teeth, okay. So here you need to understand, yes, mosquitoes chew their food by grinding with the teeth, okay. So this is absolutely wrong, my dear students, okay. So the mosquitoes are not going to have the chewing type of organs, okay. So just it is going to contain the proboscis, which is just it is going to inject, okay. So through which it is going to have the pointed proboscis, okay. So with the help of that it is going to pierce it in our body and next easily it is going to suck the blood, okay. So when we are going to look about the lice, okay, lice is going to contain the mouth parts which are involved in sucking the blood, but these mouth parts are not involved in chewing the food, okay. So here you need to understand that mosquitoes are going to contain the piercing type of feeding organ which is just going to suck the blood, whereas lice is going to contain the mouth parts which are involved in sucking the blood but not in grinding or breakdown of the food, okay. Yes. So once again look into the next question, my dear students. Select the incorrect statement regarding human digestive system, okay. So it is related to the digestive system of humans, my dear students. So here are the 4 different types of options. Option A is digestive tract and associated glands together constitute the digestive system, okay. So it is absolutely right. So we are going to learn, okay, already we have learned about the human digestive system completely. So what actually it is going to contain? Yes, digestive tract as well as associated glands, okay. So different types of associated glands we have. So this will be the right option. And next one, option B, tongue helps to mix the saliva with food and helps in swallowing, okay. So easily the tongue is a movable organ through which easily we can swallow the food and it also helps in secretion of the saliva. And pancreatic juice acts only on carbohydrates and converts these into the simpler form, okay. So this is the option C. Students already have said you, okay, already we have solved it in the second question itself, okay. So the pancreatic juice is not only going to contain the enzymes which is just involved in breakdown of the carbohydrates, but it is going to secrete all 3 different types of enzymes like lipases, proteases and amylase, okay. All the different types of enzymes will act on the complex nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins and the next one, yes. So, so all these are going to act on lipids, okay, and next one they are also going to act on carbohydrates and proteins, okay. So these complex food molecules, okay, so these complex nutrients are converted into the simpler forms like amino acids, fatty acids and the next one is simple sugars like glucose, my dear students, okay. So here in the option C, pancreatic juice acts only on the carbohydrates and converts these into the simpler forms, okay. Not only carbohydrates, apart from the carbohydrates there are some other different types of complex nutrients which are converted into the simpler forms, okay. Those are like proteins as well as the yes, proteins as well as, yes students, okay. So next one, fats, yes, option D, digestion of food is completed in small intestine, okay. So this is also the right option, okay. Digestion, complete digestion is not going to taken place in the small intestine, my dear students, okay. So partially the food is going to be digested in the stomach and next it is going to be digested inside the small intestine, okay. Yes, And next one, the dental formula for adult human beings is, okay. So, the adult human beings dental formula 2123 by 2123, okay. So, here just I am writing here my dear students 2123 by 2123, okay. So, now all the students has to answer what represents, okay. 2 indicates what here, okay. So, incisors, okay, canines, premolars and molars, okay. So, this will be the right option, okay. Option A is 2123 by 2123, okay. So, whereas option B, C and D are incorrect options because the arrangement of tooths, okay, the arrangement of teeth has been given wrong here my dear students, okay. So, in the option B 3142 by 3143, okay. So, it is absolutely wrong. Actually we have only 2 incisors, okay, but here he has given 3. So, this is wrong. The canines are only 1, okay. So, here it has been given 1, but actually the incisors are 2, not 3 my dear students, okay. So, remaining all 3 options are wrong. Option A is the right one, which is the adult human beings dental formula, that is 2123 by 2123, okay. Yes. So, now yes. So, which of the following carries digested food to all the parts of the body my dear students, okay. So, here the given options are option A blood, okay. So, all the digested nutrients, okay, all the digested nutrients are going to be sent throughout the body with the help of the blood my dear students, okay. So, all the digested food from the small intestine, they are going to be passed via the blood stream, okay. So, from the blood stream the digested nutrients are going to be circulated and then next they are going to be distributed through the entire body, okay. So, whereas here mucus and saliva are involved in swallowing the food, okay. Mucus and saliva will help in moistening the food and with the help of the saliva easily we can swallow the food my dear students, okay. Whereas the option C is also the wrong option because bile is involved in breakdown of the fats into the simple fatty acids, okay. It is actually involved in the breakdown of the fats, okay. So, here the blood is involved in transporting the digested food, okay. So, the blood is a main stream through which the digested nutrients or else the digested food. So, from the digested food the nutrients are going to be circulated and transported to the entire body my dear students, okay. And next one here, look into the next question here. Digestion of the food inside the food vacuole occurs in, okay. So, here, so if you look into the question, okay. So, digestion of the food, okay. So, in the food vacuole the digestion process is going to be taken place, okay. So, in which organism the food is digested inside the food vacuole, okay. So, here are the given options. Option A is Hydra, okay. So, option A is Hydra. It is not going to it is going to contain the special tract, okay. It is going to contain the special type of the digestive tract I can say, but it is not going to contain the pseudopodia my dear students, okay. And next one, yes, cockroach, and option B is cockroach, and next one option D is birds, okay. Cockroach and birds are also going to have the special digestive system to digest the food, whereas the amoeba is the unicellular organism. It is a protozoan where it is going to show, where it is going to project the cytoplasmic extensions, those are called as pseudopodia, okay. So, it is also called as the false feet, which is also involved and which is also useful for the locomotion, but okay. So, in the amoeba we can find the pseudopodia, these are the simple cytoplasmic extensions, okay. So, with the help of the pseudopodia the phagocytosis process is going to occur. After phagocytosis the food vacuoles are going to form. Inside the food vacuoles we can find the food and the digestion of the food is also going to takes place inside the food vacuole my dear students, okay. And look into the next question here. Which of the following statements is correct with regard to digestion in ruminants, okay. So, according to the ruminants, how the digestion process is going to take place in the ruminants, that you need to understand, because already in the last session I have also explained you the digestion process in ruminants, okay. So, we have learned about the cow in the ruminants, okay. Yes. So look into the options, my dear students. Option A, ruminants eat the food quickly and stores it temporarily in the rumen. Okay. So rumen is the largest stomach chamber inside the ruminants like cow. Okay. So it is the largest chamber where actually the food is going to be stored temporarily. Okay. And next one, so option A is right, my dear students. Okay. And next one, option B, when ruminants stop feeding, curd returns it to the buccal cavity in small lumps. Okay. So what is the main function of the ruminants, my dear students? It can again recall. Okay. Again it can chew the food. Okay. After the digestion process also, whenever it is going to feel hungry, it again the food, the curd is going to return back into the buccal cavity. Okay. So here the option B is also right option, because when ruminants stop feeding, curd returns to the buccal cavity in the small lumps to be chewed again. Okay. So this is the reason that we are calling it as the ruminants. And next one, option C is ruminants are able to digest the cellulose. Okay. So ruminants are mostly already, the ruminants are herbivores, my dear students. Okay. Herbivores in the sense just they are going to eat the plants. Plants are going to contain what? Cellulose. Okay. So they have the capacity to digest the cellulose. Okay. So to digest the cellulose, there is a special bacteria which is present inside the ruminants. Okay. So with the help of this special type of anaerobic bacteria, it can digest the cellulose, whereas we are the human beings, we doesn't have such type of anaerobic bacteria in our digestive system. Okay. So that is the reason it can also digest the cellulose. Okay. So if we look into the options, all three options are right. So because the option D is all of the above. Okay. So here the option D has not been given. So option D is all of the above options are right, my dear students. Yes. So next one, have a look here. Yes. So hydrochloric acid in stomach. Okay. So what is the main role of hydrochloric acid? What is the main role of HCl in stomach? Okay. So it helps in digestion of the fats. Isn't it, my dear students? No, this is absolutely wrong. Okay. So the HCl is not involved in digestion of the fats. Okay. So to convert, to make the fats into the simple fatty acids, lipases are the enzymes which are involved, my dear students. Okay. So next it kills the bacteria, okay, ingested with the food. Okay. So this is the absolutely right option. Okay. So because the HCl acid in our stomach, it is going to maintain the pH from 1.5, okay, from 1.5 to 3.5, my dear students. Okay. So in between these pH, whatever we are going to intake the food, if it is going to contain any type of microorganisms, easily it is going to kill. Okay. Easily with the help of the secretion of the HCl in our stomach, easily the bacteria are going to be killed. Okay. And next one, it converts starch into the sugars. Okay. So this is also the wrong option. Okay. So amylase is the enzyme which converts starch into the sugars. And next one, option D, converts proteins into amino acids. This is also wrong, my dear students. Proteases will convert, proteases, pepsin, these are going to convert proteins into the amino acids. Okay. So clear with this question? Yes. So now look into the next question, my dear students. Okay. Pseudopodia help in ingestion of food. Okay. Pseudopodia are involved in phagocytosis process. So due to the phagocytosis, the food vacuoles are going to form, and next one, they are involved in actually ingestion. Okay. Pseudopodia are the cytoplasmic extensions actually. Okay. So easily they are going to invaginate the food. Okay. It means they are involved in ingestion. But here are the given options. So we need to choose the right option in which we can find the pseudopodia. Okay. Obviously the answer will be amoeba, my dear students. But once if we look into the another options, option B, earthworm, and option D, snake. Okay. So they are going to have special types of digestive system which is going to contain special type of organs which are involved in ingestion process. Okay. But these are not going to contain the pseudopodia. Once if we look into the option C, paramecium. Okay. Paramecium are going to contain cilia. Okay. So with the help of the cilia only, it can intake the food. And next one, look into the next question here. Yes, which of the following is a filter feeder? Okay, which of the following is the filter feeder. Filter feeder is nothing but the organism which is going to filter the food from the water. Okay, so that is nothing but filter feeder. Okay, so here are the given options. Option A, snake. Okay, snake is not the filter feeder. Okay, so it can eat any type. Okay, it can eat any type of the small insects, it can eat the rat, it can eat the frog directly without filtering. Okay, and next one, housefly. Housefly actually it is going to feed on the liquids, but without filtering it is going to consume the liquids. And next, if you look into the option D, rabbit. Okay, rabbit is going to eat the vegetables directly, my dear students. Okay, so it is also not involved in filtration process. Next option, option C, flamingo. Okay, so the flamingo is going to contain the filter feeder type of the organ. Okay, so it is going to filter the food from the water. Okay, it is going to filter tiny substances, tiny molecules from the water, and then easily it is going to consume. Okay, so among all these, option C will be the right option. Next one, which of these processes is not a part of nutrition? Option A, digestion. Option B, absorption. Option C, digestion. Okay, all these things we have learned in the digestive system clearly, my dear students. Okay, all the processes are involved in the nutrition only, digestion, absorption and digestion. But option D is locomotion. Locomotion is not going to be involved under the nutrition, because locomotion is a process through which the organisms can move from one place to the another place. Okay, so it is not involved in nutrition process. So the option D will be the right option. Yes. So clear with these particular questions, my dear students. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. In the next session, we are going to solve few more difficulty level type of questions. Okay, so in the next session I am going to explain, and we are going to solve few level 2 type of MCQs. Okay, and the next we are going to start the another new chapter. Stay tuned with the NEET World. Like, share and subscribe.